Think of hello, hello, hello. Is anyone there? Hi, Glow Getters. How's your Monday going? Hey, y'all. If you're here, say hi in the chat. Don't be shy. So real quick, you might hear some sounds in the background throughout this live. Sorry about that, but life happens. Um, how y'all doing? See, there we go. All right, I have my notes pulled up here. Okay. Hi, Asina. How are you doing? Hi, Krishan. Hi, Ruth. Hi, D. Clark. Nice to see you again. Happy Monday, everyone. Okay, so today we are discussing my latest video is called The Psychology of a Controlling Person. How many of y'all watched that already? I'm hoping everybody since we're discussing it today. But if you haven't, that's okay. Go ahead and watch it after this discussion. Okay. Hey Rolo, how you doing? How you liking the books? All of y'all that just got the books, how you liking it? Any of the books. BOM, GGG, TDJ, whichever one. Okay. Okay, Krishan says, I'm doing well. This video was both eye-opening and uncomfortable to watch. So I got that comment a lot. People were kind of like, ooh, this is kind of disturbing to watch, or this is kind of like triggering to watch. So I really understand that. I don't try to trigger anyone. I just try to put the truth out there so that people can protect themselves. So I hope I got that across. I'm not trying to traumatize anybody, you know? Okay, Lisa likes the books. Rolo says, hey, I'm good. I'm enjoying the Glow Getter Guide. Yeah. So you guys, every Sunday I get on camera and we discuss the books. So if you don't have any of your books, go get your books, okay? D. Clark says all your stuff is top tier. You're setting people free. And D. Clark also has the course, and Rolo also has the course. I know that. Thank you guys for purchasing the course, and they're saying that the course is very good. So those are two reviews that you guys can use as a testimonial. Rolo says you haven't watched yesterday's video yet, but I suspect I will know a lot of it after having dealt with people like this. Yeah. Krishan says, can I ask a personal scenario question? Sure, but right after we will start the discussion. Go ahead. So we are discussing controlling personalities, okay? Um, the reason being is that a lot of people do not know what they're dealing with when they're dealing with it. A lot of behavior that I told you guys, I pick up on patterns. And I've met enough of these exact type of people to understand what their pathology is like because I've dealt with firsthand experience, right? So I do it mostly to just educate people so like you can see the signs early on so that you can protect yourself. I couldn't see the signs early on, but I learned my lesson so that I can teach others how to protect themselves and not get too involved, right? So that's all it is. I'm not trying to trigger anyone. Okay, so D. Clark says, yes, I have the course. Please get it ASAP. Yeah, you guys heard it. Get the course, okay? Krishan says, there's a customer where I work who's controlling and racist with major narcissistic tendencies. I had to stop engaging with them entirely over a year ago. Yet she continues to stare me down, talk badly about me, and try to taunt me. My coworker assists them, so I am not needed. Why persist continuously like this and almost every time they come in when there's nothing for them to get from me? Okay. So this is a predator. You guys, we don't talk about human predators enough. This is a predator. Predators have a sadistic they have sadistic tendencies. So even though like, you haven't done anything to her, she just enjoys torturing you. Like they enjoy it, gives them your pain and discomfort, gives them like satisfaction. So that's what she's feeding off of. She enjoys seeing you uncomfortable. That's what it is. She's a predator. Okay. um D Clark says they're demons. LOL. Hi, Exotic Dakota. How you doing? Nice to see you here. D. Clark says, so Hawaii is not for the weak. Protect yourself and run when you can. Yeah. So for the work example, watch my Your Job is Not Real, Play to Win video. That helps you to assist in the workplace. Okay. Lisa says, definitely miss those signs, but never again. So you don't know what you don't know, but I will say my body always warned me the key is trusting yourself to follow through. Well, Krishan, the fact that you're indifferent does not mean that she does not enjoy it. Some of them just get relief and happiness from knowing the fact that they have the power to do that to you. That's all they need. You don't actually have to give them a reaction. They just enjoy having that power to be able to do it. Some people are sick like that, y'all. Like you guys, not everybody is the same. We all don't have the same brain and behaviors. People are sick, okay? Just because you won't do it and I won't do it does not mean that somebody else won't do it and get satisfaction from it. Okay? All right. So moving on to the video. Okay. So I define what a controlling person is. We all know what a controlling person is, right? It's somebody who has a persistent, compulsive need to dictate the thoughts, behaviors, choices, and even emotions of the people around them. Okay? This is a very important definition because think about that. Somebody wants to control your thoughts. They want to get in your head and control your thoughts. Isn't that deranged? They want to control how you think, what you think. Because sometimes even with these people, like you have a different opinion than them, and they'll get angry. You can't control how I think. Like you can't control how I think. It makes no sense, right? Um, Okay, D. Clark says, so true. I had a predator that knew I take vitamins daily, tell people that I take psych meds after I went no contact with him. Yeah, so smear campaign, trying to ruin your reputation after you cut them off or you say no or set a boundary. You're sick like that. Um, the Muslim seer. Hi, the Muslim seer. I think this is my first time seeing you on a live, but thanks for being here. She says, what if someone appears so empathetic yet supports demonic people but also kind of supports you? I will start making a pros and cons sheet and see which one outweighs the other. Okay? I will start doing that. Okay, or she might just be a people pleaser. She wants to be liked by everybody, which is not a good trait either. Okay? All right, so we define what a controlling person is. Somebody wants to control your thoughts, your behaviors, your choices. They want to have authoritarian control to dictate your life and take your autonomy away from you. Isn't that insane? The Muslim seer says, I know someone whose boss is this way and they are left confused. You guys, controlling people, whether they have a personality disorder or not, they will traumatize you. They leave people with PTSD and complex PTSD. These people are very, very dangerous. They are predators. Okay, it could be a man, a woman, even a child sometimes. Some children traumatize their parents. Krishan says the Muslim seer, they can't be that great if they're hanging out with people like that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. So what creates a controlling person? How does someone become this way? How does someone become so consumed with always dominating everything, having and taking control over everything and everybody, and trying to control people's thoughts, behaviors, choices, everything? How does somebody become this way? So, like I said, it could be biology. Some people are just born like that. I told you guys in my You're Not Nice, You're a Caretaker video, stop trying to over analyze how somebody could be this way. Sometimes there's no childhood trauma. Sometimes there's no painful thing that they went through that they became this way. Some people are literally just born this way. They are born predators. Okay, so instead of trying to figure out what's wrong with them, protect yourself. Say, hey, this is a boundary for me. You're violating it. I'm out of here. Don't try to sit and try to figure out what's wrong with them and why they are the way that they are the way that they are. Okay, people that respect themselves and love themselves, they don't try to sit and figure out why. They will leave. Period. Okay. Okay, Exotic Dakota says, thank you for bringing that part up. Some of these children are wild. Yeah, I've seen some children that traumatize their parents, and these are good parents. Like, I understand that there's some abusive parents out there in the world, but some children have really good parents, like really good, empathetic, kind parents that treat them well, and they traumatize them because they are born predators. There's a biology aspect to this for some of them. Okay. Dabby too. Hey, Dabby too. Nice to see you here. She says it's generally scary how they don't see anything wrong with the way they behave. Yeah, like I said, they have no sense of embarrassment and they never think they're the problem. But we will get into that as I go along. Okay. Okay, so there's a biology aspect to some of them. Some of them are just born this way, but there are some people whose personality disorders or mental illness drives this behavior. So they could be a narcissist. So somebody with a narcissistic personality disorder, they are driven by grandiosity, envy, need to feel special, need to crave they crave attention, admiration, they want to be superior to everybody, so they need to control the environment to be able to live in that fantasy, right? So those are narcissists. It could also be somebody with BPD, borderline personality disorder. They are driven by fear of abandonment and fear of rejection, and they try to do everything to prevent somebody being able to leave them because that will cause them a lot of pain, right? So they have this need for absolute power and control over somebody because they don't want to fear that. They don't want to feel that abandonment wound. Okay. Or you guys, it could be a psychopath, right? Like already born with it. But you don't have to have a personality disorder to be a controlling person, to be a controlling personality. There are some people that don't have a personality disorder that are controlling. So it's not about that always. Okay. That B2 says mentally disturbed. Then when you cut them off, they want to act slow, like they don't know they're Delulu. This girl hacked my Facebook and posted as if she was me, then denied it. Yeah, so that's the thing with, like, they don't see you as your own autonomous human being. They see you as your property. So to them, crossing that boundary is no big deal because they don't even see you as a person. But we'll talk about that later. Okay. Rolo says, my ex, my brother, and son fits this description. Sadly, narcissistic personalities, they can't handle your happiness. Yes, they cannot, unfortunately. And I'm sorry you have to deal with all those people. But yeah, they do that. They don't. They really have a strong need for control to control everything and everyone. And people's needs don't matter to them. Only their needs matter. So I'm sorry about that. Okay, the Muslim seer says, I love your content. I watch your videos from my personal channel always, and I'm also subscribed from there too. From my observation, these people whom you are describing are today's leaders. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some of them, right? Yeah. But thank you for subscribing and supporting the channel. All right, moving on. So there's a biology aspect to this, and some people just have a personality disorder that just the byproduct of that is having controlling ways, and some people are just controlling, like they don't have to have a personality disorder to have this, right? So let's say it's not nature. Let's say they weren't born that way. How do they become this way? Okay, so like I said, it could be childhood trauma. Some of these things could be due to childhood trauma, right? Because if you grow up in really traumatic childhoods, you either become the predator or the prey, right? I'm sorry, you guys. There's some noise going on, like I said, in my background. So just ignore that. Can y'all hear me fine? Can y'all hear me okay? Is there a lot of noise in the background? Let me know. I'll just stop talking and then we can resume. And I'll extend the live. Okay. Hi, Lisa. Yeah, she says they definitely cannot handle your happiness. They don't want that. They don't want you to be happy, especially if they're not in control of it. Okay. Um, Hi, Maria. She says it's always them being abandoned. Yeah, fear of abandonment can drive people to be very controlling and abusive. Nice to see you here, Maria. Rolla says, thank you. This is why I find this channel so helpful. You're welcome. Okay, y'all can hear me fine? Okay, perfect. All right, I'm gonna keep going. So the first one is childhood trauma. Yeah, so somebody that grew up in a very unpredictable kind of environment. Maybe there was domestic violence or a very authoritarian parent. Just kind of controlling everything. Or there were a lot of fights, dangerous fights. Maybe police had to be called, or there's just a lot of chaos and unpredictability in the home. A controlling person is formed this way from this environment because they wanted some type of control over their life. I wasn't safe when I was a child, so I'm going to make sure that I control everything and everybody around me so that I will always be safe. So that's one of the aspects of how people that grew up in these traumatic situations become very controlling. If they couldn't control anything in their childhood and they were stuck in this traumatic, chaotic environment that they had no control over, they couldn't leave. Hey, when I grow up, I'll make sure that I have control over everything and everybody so that I could always be safe. If I'm in control, then I'm safe. If I'm not in control, then I'm in danger. So that's one aspect of the childhood trauma. Okay. Number two is having strict, controlling, or authoritarian parents. So basically, helicopter parents, parents that do not allow their kids to do anything or make any decisions for themselves. Basically, parents that are like dictators. They don't let their kids do anything, go anywhere, have their own thoughts, have their own autonomy. So these kids basically rebel because they feel like they don't have any freedom, they don't have any control over their own life. So eventually, they're like, okay, bump this, like I want control over my own life and nobody's ever going to control me ever again. I'm always going to have control over my own life. And with these types, you will notice that even if you give them suggestions or you give them ideas, they will rage because they don't want that, because they feel like you giving them any suggestions or outside ideas or anything is like trying to control them, so they will lash out at you. Have you guys met those people before? Okay, Lisa says, I wonder what causes them to branch off into this personality type and others who have the same exact environment and they don't. So that's I mean, you guys, you don't really know. Sometimes there's certain genetic traits that are kind of like activated. So everybody's genetic makeup is different. So some people, they can go through trauma and come out more empathetic, more, helpful, kinder to people. Or some people become people pleasing and codependent. And some people become the other side. They go to the dark side. They become a narcissist or a borderline or a psychopath, sociopath, whatever. There's certain genetic makeups. Everybody's genetic makeup is different. So there are certain genes that activate when they go through certain things. So like they already have the genetic makeup, but they will have the environment to kind of like spark that, to turn that on, if that makes any sense. Yeah, y'all can research that. Maria says if someone knew them, the controlling person, it's helpful to find out their background to either dismantle them even if they react. Yeah, like doing third party searches. Yeah, okay. Background checks. This is why I don't like suggestions from people who has the life I want. They have such BS comments, yet they don't have the life I want. Okay. Yeah, moving on. So people with strict parents, sometimes they try to rebel. If they have extremely strict, rigid, or dominating parents, they now become the strict, rigid, controlling person because they don't ever want to feel controlled again. They don't ever want to feel like they're being held hostage again. So they become the controlling person. They become in charge. Okay. Um, okay. Number three was deep insecurities and low self worth. Yeah. So people that do not really feel good about themselves and they do not feel like, maybe they feel like they're a loser, or they can't, make friends, or they can't get a girlfriend, they can't get a boyfriend, or they just feel like people don't like them. Maybe they think they're weird or whatever. They don't have good self-esteem. They don't have good self-worth. They have deep seated insecurities about themselves. When these people become very controlling, because especially when they get their hands on somebody that they feel like brings up their status, makes their life better. If they feel like they were a loser before and they have deep insecurities, when they get their hands on somebody who makes their life better, they can't let that go. They want to hold you hostage and siphon off your energy. They're going to control you, because you mean you're going to leave me and I'm going to go back to being a loser again? Absolutely not. I need to feed off your energy. So that's a part of it too. Okay. Number four is anxiety. So you will notice that a lot of people that are controlling, they're quite anxious. So they could be, maybe might have an anxiety disorder, and just because you have an anxiety disorder does not mean you're controlling. But I noticed that that is an underlying factor with a lot of them. They have high anxiety. So sometimes they might have anxiety disorder, or they might be like socially anxious. A lot of times they come off also very paranoid. Paranoid. I forgot to put paranoia in the video, but I feel like I talk about paranoid people in a lot of my videos anyway. So I thought it was kind of like obvious. But because of the anxiety, it makes them paranoid, especially when in social settings. They're very paranoid and anxious in social settings. So they try to control people in order to ease that anxiety. Okay. Maria says, when I meet controlling people, I feel absolutely disgusting. They're the biggest effing loser. And yes, it feels like you're being drained. They're siphoning off your energy. While they're so clingy, man or woman. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. Women can be just as controlling, if not worse. So it doesn't matter the gender. Okay. So because they're anxious, they want to control everything and everybody around them so that they can feel safe and ease that anxiety. Okay. Krishan says, worst part about all this is that it's mostly mind games. The moment you become aware, leave or stand up for yourself, they panic. They really are weak and gross. Yes, it really are. Like, if you have ever left a controlling person and you realize like this person is a weirdo, like this person is like playing mind games, like they feel like, oh shoot, she found out, she figured it out, I can't do this anymore. Like they will panic and try to punish you for finding out. They'll either try to discard you in the most hurtful way, or they try to run a smear campaign or whatever, because the facade is over. The facade is over. Like they know you don't believe this anymore. And a lot of times, like you don't. It's not even like you believed it. It's just that you just let them slide. You just let them keep going because you could tell like this person is weird. Like you're just being nice. But then they believe in their head that they believe that you actually bought the fantasy. They think you bought the facade. But then when they realize like you know the truth and you didn't buy the facade, they become so embarrassed and they panic. So you're right, Krishan. Okay. Number five was past betrayal or loss. Okay, so some people go through certain experiences that traumatize them for life and they're never able to heal from that. So instead, they decide, I'm never going to be hurt again. I'm never going to be betrayed again because I'm always going to control everybody and everything. If I can control everybody and everything, life will be predictable and I could never be betrayed again. I can never lose anybody or anything again if I control everyone and everything. Okay. So have y'all ever met like those guys from like they got their heart broken in like middle school a girl cheated on him or something, and then like at 30 years old, they become very controlling and still panicky and still like manipulative because they got their heart broken in middle school, like that. It's like that's just an example, but it's not just guys, girls too. Um, Lisa says, this is why some men stalk or try and bully you. Yeah. Like when you leave them, they literally become so obsessed with you and stalk you forever. Yeah. Maria says, oh, one tried to punish me, yet they know I can't be broken. Yeah. Yeah. And she says, my ex be like, till I use his depression against him. Ooh, okay. Moving on. Yeah, so basically, these people, they can't get over their betrayal, even if it's like 50 years ago. And they become very controlling because if they can control everybody, then they can't ever be betrayed. They can't ever have a loss. Nothing, everything will go right and everything will be predictable. So they could never be blindsided again. That's the whole point of them being controlling. So there's different reasons why somebody can be controlling. Okay. Krishan says, but how come they get scared of you when you stand your ground? Because they're weak. They are actually losers, guys. These people are losers. They give you a facade and try to scare you into relationships with them or use aggression or forcefulness. They force themselves on you, basically. They are losers. Okay, that's why when you finally stand up for yourself or you set a boundary, they panic because to them it's like, oh, she doesn't believe the facade. Well, doy. I don't believe the facade. You thought I believed the facade? I was just being nice. Okay, you guys, I'm pinning the course link in here. If you have um, been through it with these people, you will need my course. They cause PTSD and complex PTSD in people. Okay, they try to scare you into submission, right? And once you leave them or once you stand up for yourself, it's over. They know it's over because it was all a facade. It's not real. They are weak. They are losers. Okay, they are scared people. All right. So let's deep dive into the psychology of a controlling person. So what is always going on inside their mind internally? What is going on inside their behaviors, their mind internal? Why are they like this? What's going on in their heads? Okay. Number one is a chronic sense of threat. So these people are always in fight or flight. They're always ready to pop off. They're always ready to argue. They're always ready to yell at you. They're always ready to be aggressive with you. They're always in fight or flight. They're always in fight or flight. It's not even funny. If you ever sat around this type of person, they're very antagonistic because they're fearful. They have high anxiety. They are in fight or flight. They think life is a war. They think life is dominate or be dominated, control or be controlled. That's how they see life as win or lose. That's how they see life. They don't see interactions the same way me and you do. Okay. So it's never like an easy thing to sit around them because it's like you're always on eggshells. It's like they will lash out at any point. They have no fear of embarrassment. Okay. Maria says, oh sorry. Krishan says, are they aware that they are using force? You guys, they're very aware. These people are very aware. They're super aware. Okay. Maria says, remind me of the girls I encounter when I transferred to public school. They want to cling on to me to control because I was the new girl from a private school. Ill. Yeah, like I said, it could be a woman, a man, a child, whoever. Okay. Felicia says, hi, Felicia. Nice to see you here. How you doing? She says, then they try harder, but don't realize that isn't going to work either. Yeah, yeah. So moving on. So that was number one. So they're always in a chronic sense of threat. Like they have a chronic sense of threat. They're always in fight or flight. They're ready to lash out at any moment. They see life as a game of win or lose, dominate or be dominated, control or be controlled. And if they can't figure you out, if they don't have control over you, they're scared of you. That's why they try to assert dominance because they feel like if they can't control you, they're not safe. So Number two is a fragile ego and unstable sense of self. Okay. Many of them have very fragile egos. They are very grandiose. Their grandiosity is a coping mechanism for being a loser. Hey, I'm not a loser. Hey, nobody likes me, but hey, that's because I'm the best. That's because I'm great. Everybody's jealous of me. I'm so amazing. I change people's lives. I will save you from your miserable life. I'm amazing. They have very big egos, but the ego is very fragile because as soon as you tell them the truth, they lash out and they panic because it's so easy to hurt their feelings because they are actually losers behind all of this, behind the grandiosity, behind the aggression, behind the forcefulness. They are losers. Okay. Maria says, good to be scared. I'll trigger their anxiety for living my dang life." That's funny. um and they have an unstable sense of self. A lot of times they don't have a sense of self. They don't have a true identity of their own. That's another reason why they try to siphon your energy and use your identity as theirs. So a lot of energy siphoning stuff going on. So that's usually a pattern. Fragile ego and unstable sense of self. Number three is black and white thinking. So they think in extremes. They think in extremes. You're either one way or completely opposite the other way. There's never a gray area. You can never just be like, just a little bit of this, just a little bit of that. You're either all this way or all that way. It's really weird. If you ever met somebody like this, you will know. Let's say like you like it's summertime, it's hot out, so like you're wearing like a backless dress, but everything else is covered in the front, right? They will think that you are a slut and that's all you are. Everything about your life is so slutty. You are just a slut. Like that's all your life is, just you're like that's all you are. You're nothing else but that. That's how like they can't see you in a multifaceted way. They can't see like, oh, this person is dressed this way today, but like, she goes to church, she can dress better some other ways, or this person is also intelligent and funny and personable. And like, no, you're a slut and that's it. That's all you are. I've got you figured out. They think in black and white, they think in extremes. It's scary. It is very scary. Yeah, very scary. Okay. Maria says, reminds me most men who bug ladies in their social media accounts because most of them don't have a life. You're funny, Maria. That B2 says they get so fake scary when you return their energy because they're punks. You guys, they're weak. When you stand up for yourself, you realize how weak these people are. All of that is just a facade because they're scared. They are anxious. Um, she also says, think you're gonna run with your tail behind your leg, nasty self. Yeah, like they try to present this bully, aggressive persona because they're the opposite. They're weak. They're losers. That's what it is. Okay. So they think in black and white. You're either one way or all the other way. There's never an in between. Like it's very hard to get them to see things in a multifaceted way. They can never see the gray area. So that's a huge one for when you want to like pinpoint these people. Okay. Okay. Because the reason why they do this black and white thinking is because if they even think there's a gray area, that means their brain will interpret it as a total loss of control. If they feel like they're not certain about everything, you're not all this way or all the other way, there's a gray area, they will lose control. They can't really see things in a multifaceted way. It's very scary. Okay, number four is an extreme intolerance of uncertainty. Like I just said with the black and white thinking. These people feel like they have to be certain about everything. Otherwise, they panic. They become anxious. They become fearful. So they have to think that they are certain to feel like they are in control. So, like I said, the example that I just gave, your dress kind of, not slutty, just like you're wearing a nice dress, it's hot out, right? they are gonna call you a slut, black and white thinking. You're just a slut. Everything about you is a slut. You're nothing else but this. This is your identity. This is who you are. They are certain about that. They are certain that this is who you are. There is no room for growth. No room for a gray area, because they have to feel certain about you. If they don't feel certain about you, they are not in control. And if they're not in control, that is very scary for them. They do not like that feeling. They panic. They have to always feel like they're in control. Okay. Maria says, when I stand up against them, it felt good putting them in their place to get them back off my case. I'll admit, outside of the fun side, I have a dominant personality that hates submission to controlling people. Okay, yeah, always stand up for yourself. Lisa says, which is why you said they don't update their data about you regardless of what they know about you. Yeah, so we'll talk about that later on as we go on. But yeah, they don't update their view of you. They have to be certain about who you are. They have to put you in a box, and that's what you are. Okay. Okay, number 5 is shame. So, a lot of these people, unless they're a psychopath, if they're a psychopath, then they don't have the shame. Okay. If they're not, 9 times out of 10, they have a very deep core shame about them. That's why when you stand up for yourself, or when you stand up for yourself, or you rage back at them, and you stand up for yourself, that's why they panic and get so scared, because they feel like they got found out. They feel like the facade is not working. Like, nobody's scared of you, girl. Like, I can bark too. Like, I can, we can get it going. Like, the shame comes up because they're doing all of this. They're putting this facade on because there's a deep core shame there that's driving all these behaviors. Okay? They're very shameful people. Unless they're a psychopath and they don't feel shame. Um, 6 is control feels like love to them. Okay, so this usually goes for the people that grew up in like the strict households, the authoritarian households. Their parents probably told them, I'm doing this because I love you, okay, and I'm protecting you, or whatever. So they learn that this is just how relationships are. If you care about somebody, you control them. So they're just repeating that behavior back because they feel like that's what love is. That's all they know. So, like, look at how Diddy used to talk about Cassie, like, oh, that's love my life. I love her. We're in love. Brother love, blah blah blah. He thinks he loves her. He doesn't love her. He just likes controlling her. They confuse control as love. It's very sick. Um, Maria says, saw my controlling aunt's face, has a shame face, even if she pretended to look cold. It's hilarious when I exposed her. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to, what are the early signs of a controlling person? How do you spot these people within the first hour, first day, first week, so that you do not get entangled with these dangerous people? How do you spot it? Okay. Um, okay, let me get back up here. Number 1, I said something just feels slightly off. There's not really anything you can pinpoint per se. You can't really put a finger to it, but you just know that you don't feel good around this person. Something feels off. Something feels a little shady. Something feels a little like weird. And you just don't like being around them. And this is a feeling that I've always gotten around these types of people. I just always did not trust my intuition. And I just went along with it. I'd be like, oh, I'm being crazy, or, just give them a chance or whatever. No, listen to your intuition. That first feeling that you get is true. It's always true. It's always true. I promise you, it's always true. Do not give them the benefit of the doubt. Yes, some people have bad days, but it's not even just like a normal feeling like with regular people. These types of people, the feeling is different. Like, the feeling is like, how they have something called uncanny valley or something like that. It's kind of like that feeling. It's a weird, like, you just feel weird, like this person is not right, like there's something wrong here. Okay, trust that feeling, you guys. Trust it. Trust your intuition. um Krishan said I noticed quite a few overlapping traits between people who want to squash your power and diminish your talents, shine, and controlling types. Would you say that talented, attractive people get targeted? Yes. Because one, they want to siphon your energy for themselves, and two, they're scared of you. They feel like if they don't control you, you're gonna control them or assert dominance over them because you are so, powerful, right? So they feel like they have to assert dominance over you. They will definitely target attractive, talented, popular people, gifted people. Lisa said, always felt it in my body and ignored it. Yeah, you guys do not ignore that intuition. It is trying to save you. That feeling is right. Okay, do not ignore it. Felicia said, your spirit will alert you that something is wrong with them, and you have to know that your spirit is right. Yes, you guys, please, please, please listen to your spirit, listen to your intuition. If something feels off, if something is not right with this person, do not go ahead and just give them a chance. Your body is warning you, okay? All right. So that was number one. Number two is you don't like them. One thing I've learned about these people is that in the beginning, you probably didn't like them because they probably seemed a little rude or a little forceful, or they even might seem paranoid and accusatory and a little antagonistic. And they probably give you a label because they have to give you a role or an identity, right? Because they have to feel certain about who you are. Otherwise, they will panic, right? So you probably didn't like them the first time. Like, that interaction was weird. This girl is weird. This guy is weird. I don't like them. I'm not going to see them again. That's weird. And you probably wanted to leave. So trust that. The first time you meet them, first couple of times, you're probably not going to like them because they're weird, they're paranoid, they're accusatory, they're antagonistic, they're a little arrogant. Trust that feeling. Do not override it. When Cassie met Diddy, she was still in a relationship with, I think, Ryan something or whatever. And Cassie did not really like him like that. But he kept trying to pursue her. But we'll talk about persistent later on. He basically forced himself on her and basically forced her into like a relationship with him. That's what these types of people do, but we'll talk about it later, okay? Maria says, personally, the feeling intuition gives me is a suffocating feeling. Yeah, if you're feeling suffocated, that could be it, but sometimes it's not even suffocation. You just feel weird. You just feel like you are in danger, or like something ain't right. Something's not right. Lisa says, I listened to it now. I had a coworker recently and I ran so fast. Yes, once you have enough experiences with these people, you will know the signs and you will bolt. Okay. Maria says, tension is in the jaw and alarm bells in the mind. Okay. Pretty much this relative has the shy, small little girl profile that needs guiding, not the adult who has boundaries. Yeah. Okay. Um, Okay, so you guys trust that. Number three, they give you a role or an identity to play in your fantasy. I tell you guys this all the time. A predator, a controlling personality, they will give you a role or identity to play in your fantasy because they do not live in reality. They give people roles and functions and identities. Otherwise, they will not be in control, and they will not be able to function if they're not in control, right? So like the example that I gave in the video, so let's say it's hot out, you went to the pool to just get some alone time in the sun, you brought your book with you. Everybody else at the pool is doing the same thing for the most part, minding their business. They came alone, they're just getting some sun, right? And a controlling personality is basically doing the exact same thing that everybody else is doing. They came by themselves, they're minding their business, they're in the sun. But to them, they're looking at you and they like what they see. The way a controlling person's mind works is that people have to need them. People have to rely on them. People have to depend on them in order for them to have control. So even if you don't have a need for them, they will make up a need, and they give you a role because they need you to need them. So he saw you or she saw you at the pool laying out reading a book. A normal person will be like, oh yeah, or a normal person will not even care. They'd be like, okay, somebody's laying out reading a book, whatever. They don't care. Or if they do care, they'd be like, oh, good for her. I wonder what book that is, right? A controlling personality will see that image and say, she came by herself. She's reading the book, minding her business, not talking to anyone. Yeah, she's lonely. Yeah, she has no friends. Yeah, she's reading a book. Yeah, she's shy. She's not talking to anyone. She's shy. Yeah, she needs me. She needs me in her life. Yeah, I'm gonna save her from her miserable life. Like I would teach her. She needs me. That's how they think. That is how they think. Like you could be minding your business, and they'll come to you with with some BS role that they made up about you to try to save you. Like you need me. Like no, I don't. I do not need you. Why would you make up a whole identity for me? And like you don't even know me. You don't even know me. Like what? Whenever you come to that, whenever you come you meet a person and they assume so many wrong things about you, and they gave you an identity that's so not on point, and you're just looking at them like you don't even know me. Like how did you come up? You don't even know me. That's not even true. Like because they need you to need them in order for them to have control. They never actually get to know you, and that's the type. I actually think this is like a an intelligence disorder because they're always so wrong. They're always so wrong. How are you always so wrong? How are you going to give people a label that's not true? You don't know them from anywhere. But we'll talk about that later. Okay. You guys, I just put the link to the Bible manipulation book in the chat over there. If you don't have your BOM and you don't know how to spot controlling people, you need to get the book. Okay. Ask everybody in here that got the book. It will change your life. Okay. Get the book to protect yourself. Also, if you have the books and you read it, please rate it on Amazon. It helps other people and know when to if they should purchase or not. It'll be very helpful. I thank you so much. Lisa says, that's so crazy. Yeah, like how can you give me a label, an identity? You made up this whole thing about me in your head, and it's not even true. You don't even know me, girl, guy, whoever. You don't know me. Like what? Um, okay, Krishan says, understanding controlling types mentality is great, but how best to shut down their interest in controlling you? Example, does walking confidently make them register you as too difficult of a target? So, controlling people, they are predators. Okay, no matter if they have a personality disorder or not, they are predator types. So just like an animal in the jungle will try to spot the weakest or the smallest one in the pack to target, is the same way that they target people, human prey. So if you're walking slowly or you're not really aware or you look really sad or you look really anxious or you just don't look super confident and like in control of yourself and your life, they'll probably think those things about you. But when they do come up with that BS, even if you are looking not confident or whatever, you need to shut it down. Like, no, I'm not. You need to get aggressive with these people. With these types, I realize you have to be a little bit aggressive with them. They're not because they're not normal people. They are predators. And you have to ward off predators. You have to fight back with predators. You have to be a little more stern with predators. Otherwise, they will take you as weak and they'll keep coming back. Okay? Lisa says, my ex best friend, I used to always say, why does she, hold on. My ex best friend used to always say, why does she keep trying to tell me who I am? She kept trying to force it on me. I'm like, do you even know me? Yeah, so that's the thing. They try to force, like I said, they try to give you an identity or a role because they don't live in reality. In order for them to have control, they need to give you a role in their fantasy. That's not true to reality. So they never actually get to know you. Okay. Maria says, these bees are freaking crazy. I'm going to scream. LOL. To Love. Hi, To Love. I've never seen you in a live. How you doing? What name do you want me to call you in these lives, To Love, so I know what to call you? Okay, please leave it in the chat. Leave it in the chat. All right. Maria says it's true, being aggressive and stern helps keep them off even with having a resting bee face. Yeah, so with a normal person, setting a boundary and walking away is enough. With a predator, it's not enough. They are aggressive. They are predators. They're trying to take you as their prey, and you have to fight them off. You have to be stern. You have to let them know you're not the one to play with. Okay? Okay, I can just call you To Love. Okay, I'll call you To Love. All right, thank you. Okay. So they give you a role or identity. So for example, be like, so I just gave you an example about the pool. Um, so like a person like that can approach and be like, yeah, yeah, you look like you have no friends. Me, I got a lot of friends. Like I can show you around. How you know I don't have no friends? You don't know me. You saw me reading by myself at the pool because this is my alone time, and you assume the whole identity about me that you don't know. Like you don't know me. You do not know me. Um, so when y'all see people like that, it's a huge red flag. They do not live in reality. They're trying to give you an identity to play in your fantasy. Okay. Or they'll be like, let's say that like you're in the class. Okay, actually, let me give you a real example from my real life. Back in college, I had this class, and I think that day, actually, I was always quiet in that class because like it was super early, or I think it was like at 7 a.m. or something, and like I was commuting at that time, so I had to get up mad early. So I was tired. So every time I'd be in the class, I'd just be really quiet, minding my business. And at that time, the teacher was like, okay, we're gonna break up into groups. Everybody get in a group of like five. I think it was like 5 or 4 or something. So I'm like, okay, oh, I gotta get up and go find somebody in the group. I hesitated for like, I want to say like 5 seconds at best, at most 5 seconds. And this girl, a controlling personality, okay, I don't know her from anywhere. She had already had like 6 or 7 people in their group, and the whole point was to get like 4 or 5 people. So I'm like, oh no, thank. I said, oh no, thank you, because y'all already have like 7 people. I'm not gonna be like the 8th person in the group. So I'm getting up to go find a different group members, right? And she got so angry. She was like, "I just try to be nice. You look like you have no friends. You don't know anybody. I'm just trying to be nice. I'm just trying to help you out, ma'am. You do not know me. You do not know me. How you gonna tell me you don't know my identity? Like, how you gonna assume my identity for me and who I am, and you don't know me? So be careful of people that are always trying to save you when you didn't ask to be saved. Like they're trying to be like, oh yeah, I'm helping you. I'm saying you need me. I do not need you. You don't know me. Stop giving me an identity. You don't know who I am outside of this classroom. Like controlling personalities, they give you an identity, a role, so that they can fulfill a need for you, so that they can have control, assert control in your life. Okay? And it's usually an inferior role that they give you. So y'all need to that if you didn't learn anything from this video, you need to put this in your head. They give you a role or identity to play in your fantasy. Red flag. Easy, quick red flag. Okay? Okay. Let me see. Okay, Felicia says, and if they feel like you don't need them, they will be adamant with persuading you, and then they will love bomb you to try to get your attention to date you. Run, yes, they will try to find a need. Like they will ask you questions like, "Oh, are you close with your family? Also, how's your relationship like with your mom or your dad?" Like just trying to find a need that they feel like you're missing to fill that need to have some type of control over your life. Like it's crazy. Hi, 4.20K. Okay, what do we call you? I forgot what we called you in the chat. Please let me know your name again. She says, what do you do when the controlling person is your own parent and wants to live vicariously through you? You have to have very stern boundaries. If you're not living alone, you need to find a way to save to live in your own apartment away from them. Have a good amount of distance between you and them. Do not tell them things that you don't want them to have access to or put their input on. You need to have very strong boundaries, okay? Get the Glow Getter Guide. Um, Maria says, it's like in a family reunion. This is the insecure, hated relative who approaches the kid who doesn't want to be bothered, just want control. Kay says 6 to 7. Yeah, like we're supposed to have like 4 or 5. Girl, you already got like 7 people. I'm not gonna be the eighth one. How you gonna tell me, oh, I'm just trying to help you out? Help who out? I can't stand up and go find other classmates to be in groups with. Like, what is this? How you gonna assume who I am and you don't even know me? Like, like you're insane. Lisa said, literally insane. Yeah, it's insane. Like, what is wrong with you? Why do you need to, for me to have a need for you? I don't need you. I don't know you, ma'am. But you know what's funny? And how I know she's a controlling person? Once she got angry. Why would you get angry that I said no? No, thank you. I said it in a very nice way too. I said, oh, no, thank you. Why are you going to get angry about that and try to insult me? They don't know how to take rejection. I told y'all that. They don't know how to accept no. And two, this girl started stalking me on social media after graduation. A weirdo. A weirdo. Oh my God. Anyway, um, Exotic Dakota said, when I was younger, all my friends went to different schools. She was weird and probably some type of monitoring spirit. Yeah, yeah. Uh, Kay says they take rejection so badly. Like, yeah, they react very bad to you saying no. But that's also why it's so important for you guys to learn how to say no and stay with that. Because if you never say no, you never filter these people out because you never get to see their reaction to you saying no. Okay? Learn to say no. They do not like that and they will show you who they are very quickly when you tell them no. Okay? Krishan says, but do they know they are terrible or are they delusional because most I've met behave like they are unaware? Actually, I've learned that a lot of them are very aware. That's why sometimes they'll call you stupid if you keep hanging around them or you keep letting them back in your life because they know nobody else likes them, nobody else puts up with them, um, unless like those people are like need them for whatever reason. So they will call you dumb for not realizing that they're terrible people, or sometimes they'll laugh that you're not picking up on that fact. They are very aware. Okay. Yes, they very much hate rejection. It's their way or the highway. Yeah, they're very like, how can you be mad at somebody telling you no? I don't want to join your group. You already have 7 people in it. That's insane. That's insane. Hi, Captain Commenter. How are you doing? Thanks for joining the live. Okay, moving on. Number 3 is they act certain of who you are when they don't even know you. This is like some type of arrogance. Like I said, they have to feel like they are certain about who you are. They have to be certain about everything and everybody. Otherwise, if they're not certain, they will they will panic. They'll be fearful. So they have to always think that they are certain about who you are. I know who you are. I've got you figured out. I don't have to know anything else about you. I've got you figured out. Red flag. Okay. Kay said they can be so coercive, trying to position themselves as helpers, like they're making your life better. Yeah, like look out for the people that are always trying to help you unprovoked without you asking. Like you could be at the most vulnerable time of your life, but you didn't tell them that. You didn't ask them for help, but they keep trying to, especially when you already said no once, and they just keep coming back. They want control. They want control. Okay, look at all the. That's how pimps target foster kids. Like that's how they foster runaway. That's how they target runaways. Like a child, a teenager will run away. I don't know, go sit at some bus stop or some restaurant by themselves. And a pimp, they're always looking for new prey. So they'll be like, Oh, I can help you. Oh, you can live with me. I'll get you some food. I'll love you. I'll help you out. They're always looking to quote unquote help you to assert control. Okay, they are dangerous. They are predators. Look out for people that are always trying to help you unprovoked. They need you to need them. They need you to be dependent on them to have control. All right? If you didn't ask them for help and they keep trying to help you, red flag. They want control. They don't want to help you. Maria says, after listening to the video now, I'm able to get away from them or confront these losers till they back the F off. Yeah, you have to fight these predators off. Like I said, these are not normal people. They are predators. With normal people, you can just set a boundary and just go about your merry way. With a controlling personality, with a predator, you have to fight them off. Okay, you have to get aggressive. Okay, you have to let them be scared of you too. Right? All right. Kay said a sabotage for real. Yeah. And she also said, I tell people if they care, just keep me in your thoughts. I don't need someone rubbing it back in my face that helped me for leverage. Yeah. Yeah. So they try to quote unquote help you so that they can have some type of leverage over you because helping creates obligation. If you guys have the Bible of manipulation, fear, obligation, and guilt are the root of manipulation tactics. Helping you creates obligation, right? Now you feel obligated to allow them to have some type of control over your life, some type of say over your life. Otherwise, you are quote unquote ungrateful, right? That's why they're always trying to help you when you didn't ask for their help, okay? And helping you can also create fear because if you allow them to help you and they have some type of control over your life and you become dependent on that help, you become scared of them because if you don't succumb to their control, submit to their control, they will take away whatever they gave you and you will crash and burn. That's the whole thing. They need control. They're trying to dominate and control you and have dictatorship over a human being. Be careful with people trying to help you when you didn't ask for help. Or when you say no, they just won't stop. They just keep coming back. They don't want to help you. They want control. Okay? Okay, Krishan says, what about controlling type allies? People who enable or tolerate their behavior. Yeah. So either they're naive and gullible, so they're easy to manipulate, or they're the same way, they're just like the controlling person. They're all the same. Either that or they're scared of them. They're scared of the controlling person because these people can be very volatile. So they'll rather be safe. Rather be safe than like stand up to the predator, basically. Lisa says my coworker is constantly in my DMs on Teams. As soon as I log on, she's asking why I'm quiet. I'm so quiet today. Like, huh? I ignore her and she still persists. What a loser. Yeah, they just want to control. They want to feel needed so that you can become dependent on them. Like they're weird. Maria says I'm pissed off at those who try to control me disguised as help. Yeah, you guys, you have to be careful with malicious help. I talk about malicious help in the energy siphoners video. Go watch that, okay? Kay says your channel is so helpful, so validating because these experiences are so niche. Yeah. So that's why I feel like God led me to start this channel. So that's why I really hope we can take off, guys. You guys share the channel, like, comment, subscribe, share on other platforms. Let people know that this channel exists. I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to impact people, change people's lives, protect people. Okay. Captain Commenter said, my dad was a control freak, and so is my cousin, doesn't run in families. So, like I said before, it could be childhood trauma that causes these things, or it could be or it could be biology. Maybe was just born like that, right? So it could be that, okay? Or it could be like some form of anxiety. So a big root of controlling personalities is fear. They're anxious, they're fearful, so they always feel like they have to be in control of everything. So it could be underlying high anxiety. Okay. Okay. So what was I saying? Okay. They act certain of who you are when they don't even know you. Right. So like I said, once they give you an identity or a role or function to play in your fantasy reality, not true reality, they do not update that view of you. So, like I said in my example, if they labeled you as shy, no friends, she needs me, I will change her life, that is your role for the rest of the time that you ever know this person. They do not update that view of you ever. No matter how much evidence that they see that, hey, this is not true, this idea of this person that I had in my head is not true at all, they will not be able to change that. That will be your identity for the rest. If you allow them in your life, that will be your identity for the rest of the relationship. They will never update that view of you, because in order for them to be certain about you, they always have to be certain, otherwise they will panic, right? In order for them to be certain about you, you have to fit a role, you have to fit the identity that they gave you, okay? So look out for people that are unchanging about their view of you, or unchanging about ideas when it has been presented to them factually. No matter how much evidence you show them or whatever, they will always try to downplay it to fit that image that they gave you, because they have to be certain about you. Huge, huge, huge red flag. Amazingly red flag. Okay. Lisa says, man, I have a story about malicious help. I went through the depths of hell with someone over accepting help when I hit rock bottom and lost my job. I'm so glad I escaped. Yeah, like I said, when you're vulnerable, these people like to creep in. They like to creep in and offer you help that you didn't ask for, because they want to assert control. Because the thing about help and obligation is that if you try to escape them, they will tell everybody how much they helped you and you're just so ungrateful. They tried to help you, they did so much for you, and you're just so ungrateful because you can see that they're abusive and you escape them. Like, for example, when Stevie got Jocelyn from the strip club, when he helped her escape from the strip club and was basically mentally abusing her and allegedly physically abusing her or whatever, messing with her mind, manipulating her and everything. When she will like stand up for herself to him or whatever, he'll be like, you're going back to the strip club, you're ungrateful after everything I did for you. That's what they do. That is what they do. Malicious help. He didn't want to help her. He wanted somebody to control. Watch out for malicious help. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's number 3. Is they have to act certain of who you are when they don't even know you. Okay. You guys, I think this live might be longer than regular lives because I think this video was almost an hour long. I have a lot of notes. I wanted to get everything in one video. Number 3 is persistence. Okay. Okay, let me read one more and then go back. Okay, Kay said, that's so sad that they'll never see you for who you are, and they can trick you into constantly proving yourself as if you have to earn their validation. Yeah. Lisa says she was so angry when I was leaving and got my own house because I was doing better. Yeah, control. When you're no longer dependent on them, they can't have control. So they get mad, they get angry. Yeah. So number 3 is persistence. So how I will describe this is like in the jungle, right? In the wild, when a predator sees its prey, he sees that, oh, this one might be more vulnerable, might be easier for me to target. It tries to tire out the prey. It tries to get the prey to give up because the prey is like tired. So it tries to tire out the prey. Likewise, with human predators like controlling personalities, they try to tire out their target by being persistent. So if a guy asks you out and you said no, and he keeps coming back, next week he keeps coming back, he keeps DMing you, he keeps popping up in places that you usually frequent when he didn't before. He keeps trying to gain your attention or trying to get people to talk to you on your behalf. Constantly persisting. They're very persistent. They keep coming back even when you tell them no. That is a red flag. That is not a love story. That is a red flag. That is not love. That is like a psychopath. They see their prey, they see their target, and they want to tire it out. They want to wear you down until you no longer, like, until you give up and be like, okay, let me just give this guy a chance. Okay, let me just give this girl a chance. They're trying to tire out their prey, wear you down so that you can just give them a chance. And that's how they get in. They try to force themselves on you. Okay? Huge red flag. Persistence is a red flag. So, if you have the Bible of Manipulation book, you guys go get the book. Okay, I'm not joking. I wrote this book for you to protect yourself. Go get the BOM. Let me get the link again. If you don't have it, go get it right after this. Okay. Let me put it in here. That's the BOM. If you have the BOM, you know that one of the tactics is persistence. I put it in there. Persistence. They're very persistent. They'll keep coming back. They'll keep trying again. They keep doing the same thing over and over again until they tire you out, and then you give up. Like, all right, fine. And then you give them that access. They tired out their prey, and now they have access. You see how that works? It's very sick. Persistence is not a fantasy. It's a red flag. It's a red flag. Do not give them that access when they try to tire you out. Okay? With these type of predators, you need to be aggressive with them. You need to stand your ground to let them be scared of you, because they won't leave you alone until they become scared of you. Unfortunately. Okay? Lisa says, yep, I was going through so much, but I knew I had to push through to get out of there. I was exhausted with my efforts. So proud of myself. I've never given up. Scary time for real. Yeah. 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 You have to just, sometimes you just in that dark place in life where you just have to do what you have to do to get out of there. I'm sorry you went through that. Maria says, when I reject people from my sanity and they pursue high disrespect for them. Yeah, because they don't take no for an answer. They don't see you as an autonomous human being independent of them. They see their target, they see what they like, that's what they're going to get, no matter what they have to do to get it. Okay? A captain commenter said, controlling parents can make you dependent on them right to the end. They can control you with an inheritance. Yeah. And you know what's sick is that controlling parents can make you the perfect prey for other controlling people outside there in the world. It's really sad. Ruth says, "Hi Ruth, how are you doing?" She says, "Wait until they become scared of you." So you can just try to, if you can, just distance yourself or just get away from them. Try to avoid them as much as possible. But if they keep getting in your face, they keep coming back, you have to scare them in some type of way, either with your aggression or embarrassing them, or if need be, if they're stalking you, go to the police. They have to think that there's some type of consequence for them trying to target you. Okay? You have to let them know they can't assert their dominance over you, because you guys, these are not normal people that you're dealing with. A normal person will not be happy with your boundary, but they're going to respect it and keep their distance or just take your no. But a predator is not going to be to do that. They're going to be persistent. Okay? Because they don't view you as an autonomous human being. They want you to be their product. They want you to be their property, and they feel like they can just take you if they could just wear you out. Okay? Number 4 is invasion of privacy. Okay? Like I said, they try to claim their territory. They want you to be their property. They don't want a friendship. They don't want a romantic relationship, a genuine relationship with you. They want you to be their property. So they're trying to claim their territory by invading your privacy. So they'll invade your personal space. You could just be standing there talking to your friends, and they'll just come and stand there uninvited. Just no sense of embarrassment or social awareness, because they don't view you as a person that is like your own person. They want you to be their property, right? They want control. Or it could be like, just invading your bit. They just want to be in your business. They're claiming their territory. It's like when a dog pees on a certain area to claim their territory. They invade your space to claim their territory. And a lot of times they try to scare other people off from you. Like, she's mine. She's mine. Like, she's my friend. She's my, you gonna be mine. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because they don't view you as a person. They view you as their property. They just want to take you, right? Maria says they put their stuff in your house or near your house. Yeah, they try to claim territory. They try to claim you, and just invade your privacy. So watch out for that. Number 5 is checking for signs of isolation. So, like I said in the video, a controlling person is eventually going to try to, not try, they're going to isolate you. If you give them access, they're going to isolate you. And the best target is somebody who's already isolated in some type of way. So perhaps maybe you don't have a strong bond with your family, or you have abusive family dynamics, or you're not close with them, or you don't like them very much, or you just don't have a lot of family, or maybe you don't have a lot of friends, or maybe you move to a new city or new state and you just don't know anybody yet, right? They're checking for signs of isolation, because the more isolated that you are, the easier you will be to isolate. Okay? So they try to check to see if there's anybody there that you're close to. How easy would it be to get you for themselves? Okay? Let me see. Lisa says, I moved to a neighboring city, and I used to be so paranoid that we will run into each other until I started healing and realized she probably embarrassed that I know she's psychotic and will run when she sees me. Yeah, I'm glad you took your power back. Maria says, I'm tossing this person's stuff out. If they're mad, they can look for their ish in the trash. Maria, what is going on? Oh my God. Krishan says, does anybody have movie or TV show recommendations for overcoming a controlling person other than Tangled? I can't really find one at the top of my head right now. Kay said, you're still on point with how controlling parents condition their children into being the prey or even normalize controlling behavior towards others. I've tried explaining that to my Caribbean parents. Yeah, so they make you the perfect target for other predators out there, just like narcissists make you the perfect target for other narcissists out there in the world. They basically train you to comply to controlling, abusive, authoritarian tactics, because you're so used to submitting to them. That's the only way you know how to be safe, right? Is to just submit. So you take that behavior out there in the world, unfortunately. Maria said, yeah, mine tries to isolate me because she has a non-updated profile of bad parents. Yeah. Kay said, it's like if they see you have support, family or friends, they feel intimidated. Yeah, because it will be harder to isolate you to themselves. It'll be harder for them to be the only voice and source of validation. They just want to own you. They just want to be the only person in your life, to have full control and power over one person. That's what they want. So that's why they keep trying to check for signs of isolation. Rolla says they train you not to trust your own perception. Yeah, yeah. Controlling parents. Yeah, they do that. Unfortunately, yeah, it's really bad. Okay. Checking for signs of isolation could be they just keep asking you questions about like your family or your friends. And it's not normal questions that normal people ask. Like, you could tell they're trying to figure something out. Like, they're trying to calculate like how easy it will be to get you just for themselves. It would be like I said, the example that I gave in the video. Let's say he asks you, "Oh, what did you do this weekend?" One, he's trying to see if you have a life, if you did anything over the weekend. Two, he's trying to see who you did it with. So, like, let's say you say you went to the fair. He'll be like, they'll either panic and be like, now the panic will probably be with like a platonic relationship, like with a girl who's trying to be your friend. Um, they'll probably be like, with who? Because they, like I said, they don't live in reality. When they set their eyes on the target, they think they're the only person in your life, that you need them, and you don't have anything outside of them. They panic, like, wait, you have other people in your life? Yes, I do. Like, well, what do you think this is? Do you think that I started living my life when I met you? Like, but that's the ego, guys. The ego is so grandiose, is that they feel like you do not exist, like you don't have a life outside of them. It's weird. Or if it's like a man trying to, gain romantic access to you, be like, oh, so did you like go with friends, or like he's trying to see if you have friends, if you have a lot of friends, if you're tight with your friends. He's trying to see how easy it will be to isolate you. Okay. This is different than a normal person asking you these type of questions, because with a normal person, it won't feel so like, um what's the word? Like it won't feel like an interrogation. They'll be like, "Oh, you did? How was it? What did you do with it?" It's like that. Like they feel excited. It's like it's lighthearted. It doesn't feel like you're trying to have to explain yourself to them. There's a difference, okay? Okay, Maria said, if you ask, my confrontational side makes me get it out to not let them cling on to me, which is why I use my anger to get them out of my private space. Okay. Kay said, both my exes disliked that I had healthy relationships with my father. Yeah, they're trying to see how easy it will be to isolate you, to abuse you. They try to see if there will be anybody out there that will care about you to save you if they start doing their weird stuff with you. Okay. Lisa says her mom was the ringleader when I blocked them. I forgot to block that moose. My God, you guys are so funny. I forgot to block that moose. She texted a year later, wanting me to come and get two jackets I left in her closet, saying she needed the room. I ignored her. Yeah, so she's trying to bait you to come back, because when you go there to go pick up your jackets, she'll start putting ideas in your head like, "Oh, we miss you," and "What happened?" to get you back in the fold again. Kay said, imagine strategizing how you can be of importance in someone's life is so lame. And the way they're always recalibrating your worth. Yeah, like I said, guys, these people are not normal. These are predators. They're not normal, right? They're losers. Rolo said, this is why I pretend to be busy and popular even when I'm just catching up on chores. Yeah, to protect yourself, right? Captain Commenter said, if you don't obey them, they will badmouth you to anyone with ears. So that's why I tell you guys, you have to detach from image management. You have to allow people to not like you or to think a certain way of you, because if you want to be free of these people, you're gonna have to allow yourself to be the villain in their story. Okay? Felicia said, not to be insensitive, but it's like being in a domestic violence relationship. They try the same tactics to isolate you as the partners in these types of relationships. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, controlling personalities can also be violent. Not all of them, but some of them can be. Yeah. Los Angeles Fresh. Hi, Los Angeles Fresh. This is my first time seeing you in the live. Nice to see you here. She said, when I cut off my mom and put up boundaries, she showed up at my job acting like a crazy person. Yeah, control. They cannot take losing control. It's all about control. It's not about love. It's not about missing you. It's about losing control. Exotic Dakota said, I started doing this thing where I will randomly start playing on the phone when they try to start with that mess. Yeah, yeah, just ignore them and just distance yourself. Yeah. Maria said, when they call me the bad guy, selfish, laughing my butt off. If they're going to call you selfish for protecting yourself, that's okay. That's fine. Nellie Swan said, it's reassuring that you keep saying these people are losers, because all I see is them with a lot of friends and supporters. You guys, you have to realize that a lot of people do not know about like manipulation. The average person does not know about a lot of the stuff that I talk about. So most people are very unaware. And also the thing is, like, they do not abuse everybody. They don't abuse everybody. They select certain people to abuse. So those people supporting them might not even know that side of them at all. Right? Yes, hi. Okay, moving on, guys. Um So number six is they control your first reaction, your first interaction. Sorry. So go back to the first time you met this person. Did you feel like something is weird, and like they felt a little forceful, like they have to be in control of their interaction? Like for example, this girl that I guess I became friends with. My first time meeting her, I did not like her. Something was off, and she was acting weird. So I was like, okay, like I was trying to cut it short, like I was trying to just get up and leave. And she like gestured for me to sit down, like in the middle of the cafeteria. And I'm just like, okay. Like I was just stunned. They try to control the first interaction. Something is off, it's weird. Like you could just tell, like they feel like this is a game. This is a game that they have to control. Like, oh, they got you figured out. They know what this game is gonna be. Like they're gonna win. Like they try to like they think it's a game. Control will be controlled. Dominate will be dominated. Like, and they act like they got you figured out. Like, oh yeah, I know what this is. Like I got it. You're not gonna win. It's weird. The first interaction they try to control it is weird, and you will know this because normal people do not act like that. You will feel the difference. It's weird. So either that or like um it, Nelly Swan said they use a lot of degrading gestures. Like they try to like, yeah, they try to like signal for you to sit down, or they try to lead where y'all going and walk ahead of you like they're the leader. Like it's just weird interactions the first time. Like they try to make it clear that okay, I'm in charge of this interaction. I'm in charge of this relationship. This is how it's gonna be. I'm dominating and you're just following. You obey me type of thing is weird. Okay. Okay. Um Maria says, first time meeting this person, she was pretending to be nice when I felt suffocated, and she tries so hard being a guiding adult. When I look at her, she's a suffocating person. They're very dominating. They're very dominating. Captain Commenter said, my dad will pay off my classmates for intel on me. Yes, that's a tactic. That's a tactic for predators. It's like they try to get other people to spy on you, to monitor you, even in school. Do you know how sick that is for a student? For a child to think that their classmates have some type of power over them. First of all, you're letting the classmates know like this person is not protected at home. So I can do anything to this person. And if they ever do anything back to me, they will get more in trouble at home. So they can't even defend themselves. So I have a right to bully this person. It's sick. It's really sick. Lisa said, when you leave, they just find another victim. I swear I wish I could warn them. Yeah, unfortunately, it's sad, right? Yeah. Los Angeles Fresh says, so true, and they go crazy when you speak up. Yep. So sick. Yeah. Yeah. Number seven is they throw tantrums when you don't give them attention. Ooh, this is a huge one. Like I told you guys, they are fearful people. A lot of them have anxiety. And if they feel like they don't know what you're thinking or what you're doing, or you're not giving them attention, you're not making them feel safe, they feel like you're unsafe and they have to assert dominance. So if you're not giving them attention or special attention or trying to appease them, they become offended and they get scared and they try to dominate you. So if you don't give them attention, they try to just get you in trouble at work or try to yell at you, be aggressive, throw a tantrum, get mad, try to embarrass you. Like they have no sense of embarrassment. They would throw tantrums in public because you're not giving them attention. Red flag. Red flag. Kay said, funny how they always have people around them to verify their character as nice people. Just like male offenders have lots of female friends who don't know they're enabling their weird behaviors. Yeah, so like I said, they don't abuse everybody. And a lot of people do not know about this type of stuff that I talk about. So they will not know what they're looking at, unfortunately. Hi, above rubies. How are you doing? She says, and they will absolutely make all of your problems yours. Huge projectors, they're exhausting. Yeah, they project a lot. They are a loser, so they'll project that onto you. They have no friends, so they'll project that onto you. They're lonely, so they'll project that onto you. A lot of the stuff they do is just projection. Very draining, yeah. Lisa says she freaked out when we were out one night and a guy started to talk to me. She was standing right next to me. She freaked out and yelled in my ear to stop talking to him. Yeah, because they feel like they own you. They feel like you are their property. How dare somebody else talk to their property? That's what it is. That's what it is. That B2 says, I can't believe how on point you are about everything. Really traumatic, to be honest. Felt like I escaped the cult after I cut them off. It took me over a year to feel safe in my skin again. You guys, it's because I can explain it so well because I've gone through it. So that's why I can explain it so well, right? Los Angeles Fresh says, yep, they ignore you on purpose to get your attention, but if you do it, it's a problem. Yeah, it's all about control. They always have to be in control, right? Captain Commenter said they hide behind eminence, but it's just a front. Yeah. Nelly Swan said sometimes people know and still defend these people to protect their own ego. Like, how could I be gullible? Yeah. Yeah, so that's a coping mechanism. Like people don't like to admit that they got or they got manipulated or fooled or like they're embarrassed to admit that. So they'll rather just defend that to protect their own ego. You're right. Yeah. That B2 says, I still have flashbacks 4 years later. You need the course. You need the course. You guys, the course is pinned right here in the comments. If you have flashbacks still, you're still traumatized, you need my course, okay? And I know you have the book, so email me at glowgettergist@gmail.com. You see glowgettergist@gmail.com. And I will give you a discount on the course, okay? Above Ruby says, yes, I had a few of those at work. I'm a lone wolf by nature, so those tactics don't work. Yeah. They wanted to have me on a leash. Actually terrifying. Yeah, they want to own you like you are their property. Like they just want full control over you like you are their property. Like you're not an autonomous, independent human being. It's really weird. It's traumatizing. All right, so this is gonna be a long, long live. My God. Okay. So we're moving on to things they do. So we just did the early signs of these people. We are going moving on to things they do. So let's say somehow they were able to get into your life. Either they tired you out with persistence, or they forced themselves on you, or you just fell for it. You were just at a vulnerable place. Somehow they got access to your life. What is a relationship with these types of people look like? And when I say relationship, it could be romantic relationship, it could be a friendship, it could be a family, it could be a colleague relationship. What do relationships with these people look like? Number one is they isolate you. They isolate you. They want to isolate you to themselves. They want you to be their property. They want you to exist for them. They don't want you to have a life outside of them. They want full control over your life. Okay. So they will isolate you from your family and friends. They will down talk them. Or sometimes they won't even down talk them. Sometimes they will down talk you and disrespect you and try to devalue you in front of your family and friends. Like they want to embarrass you in front of your family and friends so that those people can look down on you or not see you in like a good light. Or they want to make the interaction so embarrassing for you that you will no longer bring them around this person. Just to further isolate, drive a wedge between you and those people. Or they'll just talk bad about them. Like if this is like a guy you're dating, and be like, "Oh, your friends are sluts. They're not influencing you right. Oh, they're in your head. They don't like me. They're trying to tear us apart. Blah blah blah." Just trying to isolate you just to themselves. Okay. Um, Lisa says you can be gone for years and they will come and find you even if you block them and everything. Yeah, they stalk you, they obsess and stalk you for years. You guys, these people do not believe that you are an autonomous, independent human being outside of them. They think you are their toy, you are their property. That's why they obsess and stalk you because they still feel like you belong to them. You are their property. Exotic Dakota said, I love the long lives. I'm on a walk right now down this pretty trail. Oh, okay. Enjoy the walk. Ruby says, yep, mentally ill people for real. They don't see it though. I have a cousin with obsessive tendencies and it comes across as controlling, but she doesn't see it that way at all. Yeah, there's a lot of these types of people out here, guys. A lot. That's why I'm teaching y'all this. That's why I'm giving y'all all the resources, the course, the Bible of Manipulation, the Go Getter Guide, the Trauma Dump Journal, the videos. You need all of that to protect yourself, okay? I think I was born to do this because I survived it and I need to show people how to survive and protect themselves too. Okay, so you guys support the channel. Let's get bigger. Like, comment, share, subscribe, share it on other platforms. Buy the books, recommend the books, buy the course, recommend the course. Thank you guys so much. Okay, Nellie Swan said, my grandmother used to pay security of the apartment to look around our apartment to see what my mom and me, what my mom and sister are up to. The security used to watch from the windows, pretending to clean. See that they do stuff like that. They do stuff like that. They try to get other people to like spy on you for them. It's the control. They're just so controlling. They monitor and track you, and we'll talk about that later. Um, Exotic Dakota said, I feel like when people try to embarrass you in front of your family and friends, they like to see if the people will actually defend you or not. Yeah. So again, trying to check for signs of isolation to see if people are really in your corner, right? And will protect you. Kay says the controlling person needed attention so much that they figured out the same hour when I unfollowed them on IG, despite not close friends talking or talking, despite us not being close friends or talking consistently. Yeah, yeah, because they're obsessively monitoring you. They're always stalking you. They're always stalking you. These people are sick. Okay. Maria said, I don't mind the long lives. Gonna do groceries. Thank God for this channel community. Thank you guys so much. I really like that you guys enjoy the lives. Okay. So that's number one is they isolate you. Number two is everything has to be done their own. Okay, let's go back to number one. Number one could also be a smear campaign. So you might not know it, but because they want to isolate you to themselves, they will start poisoning other people's minds about you so that nobody likes you. If nobody likes you and everybody treats you terribly, then you will feel like, oh, this is my only friend. This is my only real friend. Oh, this man is the only one that cares about me, that treats me well. And you will stick with them because they poison everybody's minds about you secretly. You will go walk into work one day, all your colleagues now hate you and don't talk to you. You don't know why, because she told them not to tell you about what she said to them. Your friends now hate you and you don't know why. Smear campaigns to keep you to themselves. It's really sick. It's very evil. All right, but number two, everything has to be done their way. Is their way or the highway, and they don't budge. Everything has to be in control. If y'all are going somewhere, they have to be in control of planning it. Where y'all go, they have to be the leader. They have to drive the car. They have to pay the stuff. Like everything always have to be in their control. They have to always be the one to be in control of everything, and you just come along because they want to force dependence on you. They want to force dependence. They want you to like what they like. They want you to like what they want you to like. They want you to just be like a doormat or like a loyal dog that just listens and obeys them and just do whatever they say. They don't want you to be an autonomous, independent human being. Like they want you to just do whatever they want. So, like for example, like I said, the example that I gave in the video, let's say you like soups, not sandwiches, and they love sandwiches. That will become a problem because they want you to like sandwiches. They want you to like what they want you to like. And they'll throw a tantrum or give you the silent treatment or get angry if you don't. Like, it's sick stuff like that. Like, they want to be in full control over your thoughts, your choices, your emotions, your behaviors. They want full control over you like a dictator. Um, Nelly Swan said, and they only leave once they feel like they are done and bored with us. Yeah. Like the live. Yeah, y'all, you guys like the live. Okay, like the live. Um, They want you to basically be a loyal dog that obeys them and just do whatever they say and whatever they do. And they want to be in control of everything. They have to be in charge of everything. It's their way or the highway. They basically try to mold you into whatever they want, because to them, you belong to them. You are their property, right? You are not your own person. Okay? They're curating your identity for their fantasy. Like, for example, when Kanye got with Kim and we all saw on the TV show how he changed her whole closet, she thought it was so cute. Like, oh, he's changing my closet. He's a fashionista. No, he was trying to mold her to be his own personal Barbie for his fantasy. It was control, but she didn't see it like that. Do y'all see how easy it is to get entangled with these people? Okay. Lisa says her mom was watching TV one day and had her chair facing a direction. She kept saying, "You need to turn your chair so you can see them." See, the mom didn't do it. She went up and physically moved her chair. Just no sense of like, you don't control people. Like, they don't see that. They think they're God. They think they can be a puppet master, right? So everything has to be done their way. Everything always has to be their way. They have to do it. They're in charge. They know better. They're superior. You listen to them. You do what they say. Okay, and they'll throw a tantrum if you don't. Adult tantrums are scary. When a child is throwing a tantrum, although it's not pleasant, you can handle that because it's a small child, right? You can handle that because it's a small child. Well, but when it's an adult, a 150 pounds to 250-pound adult throwing a tantrum, that is scary. That is very scary. Okay. Okay. Number three is they are extremely opinionated about your life choices. Like I said, they feel like they are your God. They feel like they know better than you. They feel like you are their property. So their property, they have a say in their property's whole life, right? They want to tell you what to do, who you should marry, who you should date, what you should wear, what school you should go to, what this, like they don't let you make your own decisions, your own choice. They feel like they have a right to make decisions about your life. Um, because think about it like this: when you were young and you had a Barbie doll and you were playing with the Barbie doll, you decided where the Barbie went and what the Barbie drove and what fantasy that you were, using the Barbie for or whatever, right? It's kind of like the same. It's the same kind of thing. These people, they don't realize that you're not a toy and you don't exist for them. So to them, it's like, I get to tell you where you're gonna go. I can tell you what you're gonna wear. I can tell you what you're gonna do. Blah 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 blah. Because they see you as their toy. They see you as their toy. You are not an autonomous, independent human being in their mind. They feel like you are their property and they own you. So they get to make decisions about your life. Their decisions are important for your life. That's what they think. Okay? Kay said, my ex started a smear campaign when I wanted to end our relationship as they were causing third party situations to make me jealous. Yeah, they do that. Krishan said, what is the most hurtful thing to say to controlling types? You're a loser. Everybody thinks you're a loser. You're a loser. You think you're cool, you're not. You're a loser. Because they have a core shame. They have a core shame of being a loser. Say you're an anxious loser. Nobody likes you. Why do you keep doing this? That will crush them. Um, Kay said, I moved on and he used disgusting rumors to make the new person not like me. The extent they will go to is crazy. Yeah, they become obsessed with you because it's ego. They're hurting your ego. Like they're trying to, you hurt their ego, so they're trying to completely destroy you. How dare their property walk off and leave them? No way, right? That be too sad. I'd be like, how do these people find me, God? I can only laugh. Yeah. Well, now you know the signs, right? Now you know the signs, and you have the Bible of manipulation to help you out. Okay. If you don't have the Bible of manipulation, you guys go get the book. Okay. Go get the book. You will save yourself a lot of hurt in this life. I wrote it for you. I wrote it to protect you. Go get it. Okay. Let me put the link again in the chat. Go get it. All right. All right, Lisa says, what career path you should pursue? Literally anything they can control. Yeah, they think they can play God in your life. Um, yeah, they're losers, big time losers. Yeah. Lisa says, when I was preparing to move out and leave, she was like, I wanted to ask you, are you going to start dating again? She was upset. Yeah, they just feel like they just become so intertwined into your, like they just want to be all up in your life, like they want to be sitting in the middle of you and your new relationship and control it. Like it's insane. Oh my god, like my head hurts. Captain Commenter said, yeah, I think my pops married someone from another country on purpose to isolate her. Yeah, they do that. They do that. Nellie Swan said, I always ask, does anybody even like you naturally, or do you have to use some force? Yeah, because they're losers. They have to force themselves on people. They have to force themselves on people. Yeah, it's true. They're losers. All right, number four is they monitor and track you. So you guys, we already talked about that a little bit, but they stalk your social medias. That's why I tell you guys, do not give your social medias out to people you just met. Do not. Take some time. People are crazy. They try to stalk your social medias. They try to they stalk you physically sometimes. They try to purposely put themselves in spaces that you will be if they see that you frequent there. If y'all started talking, they'll say, "Oh, we can share location so that I know that you're safe." But really, they're just trying to track where you are, what you do, where you go. They will try to get you guys enmeshed, like get you on your phone plan, so they can track who you text, who you call, what numbers you text, what numbers you call. Just stuff like that is sick. Like, oh, they try to like tell people to like get intel on you. It's crazy, you guys. Been there, done that. Like, yo, the things that I've gone through with certain people are crazy. That's why I'm able to explain it so well because I know what it's like. People become obsessed and weird. You have to protect yourself. Okay. Kay said it's true. They make up personalities from likable people because they're not likable. Yeah. Exotic Dakota said, I hate when people try to steal your whole aesthetic and like your vibe. I had people copying my haircut and my favorite color. Yeah, because they don't have an identity. Yeah. Uh Lisa says it's crazy because I experienced this with women in friendships, not with men. It's very common in female friendships. Yeah, me too. I experienced this in female friendships too. That B2 says, have you experienced hacking? No, that's probably the only thing I haven't experienced. Kay says they need to be exposed and feel shame for being so controlling. It's weird. Well, that's what I'm doing now. That's what I'm doing now with this video and this live and this channel. Okay, we're exposing them. Okay. So they monitor and track you, right? Number five is they struggle to respect your boundaries. These people do not respect your boundaries because they don't see you as an autonomous, independent human being outside of them. They think you are their property. So why should they respect their property? They can do whatever they want. Like I said, go back to when you were a child and you had a Barbie. You were in full control of the Barbie. I don't have to respect my Barbie. It's my Barbie. I can pull the legs up if I want. I can cut the hair if I want. I can smash it if I want. It's still my Barbie. I don't have to respect my Barbie. She doesn't have boundaries. It's my Barbie. It's that same mentality. They don't respect boundaries because they don't see you as an autonomous, independent human being. They think they can treat you terribly, however terribly they want, and there's no limits with you and them. They don't respect your boundaries because they see you as their possession, as their property. Okay? Krishan said, yes, parents contacted me immediately when I got all my own subscriptions and they couldn't track what I watch. Yeah, they just always want to keep tabs on you. They want to keep tabs. They want to monitor you, track you, control you. Yeah. Maria said, this is why I wear my color season and favorite color is too intimidating for their insecure asses. And this is why I disrespect them. Respect goes two ways. That B2 said they have no brought up see mother should be ashamed. Yeah, they just don't care because they don't view you as a human. You are just their toy. So when you say no to them, they become very confused and angry because what do you mean no? And you will notice that they respect other people's boundaries, but not yours because you are their property. You are their possession. You are not independent outside of them. They own you. So how dare you say no? How dare you set a boundary with them? How dare you tell them they can't do that to you? Because to them, you're not an independent person outside of them. They own you. You are their property, right? All right. Number six is they use guilt, shame, and emotional manipulation. Like they usually use this when you are trying to set a boundary or you're trying to leave them or you get mad at them for something they did. Maybe they crossed the boundary. They use guilt, emotional manipulation to try to get you to feel bad for them and not leave them. Right. Number seven is they can't handle being told no. So, like I said, if you tell them no, it could be a day in hell for you. They could throw a whole tantrum. They will embarrass you publicly. Like I said, they have no sense of embarrassment. So they will throw a tantrum anywhere because they feel like, how dare you tell me no? I control you. You are my thing. You are my toy. You can't tell me no. There's no limits here. It's exhausting. They can't handle being told no. They'll get angry and lash out or try to run a smear campaign. All right, number eight, they are surprised and panicked when they learn new things about you because they're supposed to feel certain about you. Like I said, they give you a role or identity early on and they don't update that view no matter how much evidence that they get to change that view. And they just feel like this is who you are. I've got you figured out. I don't need to know anything about you. You are my toy. I know everything about you. I'm certain about you. So when new information comes in, they become paranoid. They become panicked. Like, what? That's not true. Like, wait, what? Huh? They get angry because you're supposed to just be in this bubble that they put you in. How dare you be anything outside of that? Not because they don't have control of anything outside of that. So if they realize you have a lot of friends, or when they thought you were like again, the role they give you is always some type of inferior role that makes you need them. So if they realize like you are very popular, you have a lot of friends outside of them, they become panicked. How dare you have no people outside of me? How dare you have a life outside of me? How dare you do good and great things outside of me? That's not your role. That's not what I put you in. That's not what you're supposed to do. They become panicked. Okay. So, or they will minimize it. They'll be like, oh, you got into Harvard. Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess they just letting everybody else in there down. Like, yeah, I guess, I mean, yeah, they try to downplay it in some way because they have to make you small to fit the role so that you can still have to depend on them. It's all about control and you having to need them. Okay. Because if you become successful outside of them, that means you won't need them anymore. And if you won't need them anymore, they will not have control, right? Maria says, since they have not updated my profile, I'm using that to my benefit because I'll throw their ish back to them. Okay. So look out for people that become panicked or become really surprised or angry when they realize new things about you. Especially when they've known you for a long time, because like I said, they don't update that view, that label that they put you in. They don't update it. They don't update it. So that's a red flag. Okay. All right. Number nine, like I said, because they don't update it, they really do believe that when they're not there, you are existing in that same viewpoint that they put you in. So they don't update their view of you. So, like I said, if they labeled you, if they gave you a role as shy with no friends, she needs me, they think when you're not there, you're miserable, you have no friends, and you're just waiting for them to come back and save you and give you life again. Like that's really what they think. That's another reason why they become panicked when they learn new things about you, right? Um, so they don't update it. And yeah, yeah, when they're not around, when they think you're not around, they freeze you in that box they put you in. So beware of people like that, okay? Lisa said one of them was calling and hanging up to see if I blocked them yet. But I let them do it a few times and then I blocked it. Like they become obsessed like that. Yeah, they still want control. Captain Commenter said they even try to control what you do or don't do in the bedroom when they demand you give them grandkids. Yeah, like just no sense of boundaries, no sense of limits. They just feel like they own you, like you are their thing. They can tell you what to do and you do it. It's weird. Kay said this conversation reminds me of the David and Celeste situation. It's tragic. He was definitely a predator and controlling person. These people can actually end your life. It's that serious. Yeah, especially when they're stalkers, when they become very obsessed and they stalk you forever after you end up with them. They definitely can be unalivers. Exotic Dakota said, I found out this year that it's not okay to accept crazy behavior from family who is jealous of you, no matter their circumstance. Yeah, do not take crazy behavior from anybody, okay? You are a glow getter. You have the glow getter guide. You have the Bible of manipulation. You have the TDJ. You have the no one cares course. You know better. You watch the videos. You know crazy behavior. Do not accept it, okay? Lisa said, or calling and whining, saying, "Oh, why aren't we close as we used to be?" Creep me out. I'm traumatized by female friendships. Yeah, they can become very controlling too. Women in female friendships can become very controlling and possessive too. It becomes very weird very quickly. Um, Hi Asia, Valentina. How are you? This is my first time seeing you on a live. Nice to see you. She says, same. I got my master's degree last October, and majority of my family was a nightmare. They were like, "Oh, but do you have a job? It's just a degree, not even a congratulations." Yeah, they can't control your success. It scares them because they won't have control, so they always have to like downplay it. And congratulations. Okay, let's see. Right. So because they don't update their view, they never get to know you. They have you in this frozen label that is not budging, that is non-changing. So then they never actually get to know you like at all. They don't get to know you. You will notice that some of your other friends will know you, but they themselves will not know you at all because they don't actually get to know you. They gave you a role and that was supposed to be your role. So they never get to know or learn anything outside of you. They'd be like, oh, I figured you out. This is who you are. I'm certain about you. That's it. They don't get to know you, right? All right. Number 10 is they think you are inferior to them. This one is crazy, right? It's crazy because these people are losers. Like they get rejected all the time. Nobody likes them because of their behavior. So when you finally give them a chance, like, okay, this person wore me down, they won't stop trying. Somehow they were able to get into your life. When you give them access, they lose respect for you. They feel like you got conquered. It was predator and prey, and the predator conquered you. That's what they think. They feel like if everybody rejects them because they're weird and their behavior is bad and off-putting, if you accepted them, then that means you must be even more inferior than them. So they have no respect for you. They have no respect for you. Um, and also, like I said, they don't view you as an autonomous, independent human being. To them, you are their possession, you're their property, you are their toy, you are their Barbie. They don't have to respect their Barbie. It's their Barbie. Like when I pick up my Barbie when I was a child, I didn't respect my Barbie. I would drag it by the hair. I will pop out the leg. I will draw on the face. I don't respect my Barbie because it's inferior to me, right? It's inferior. It's not a human being like me. I own it. It's my property. I don't respect it that much. It's the same way. They don't view you as an independent, autonomous human being outside of them. They own you. You are their property. They don't have to respect their property. It's the same type of concept. Okay? So they think you're inferior to them. They actually are become like they think they act embarrassed of you. They're embarrassed of you because they feel like you are just so below them. When in reality, like they are a loser and people are looking at you like, why are you hanging out with this person? Like, why are you dating this person? Why are you hanging out with this person? They're crazy. That's how people look at you when you allow them in. But they are so delusional that they think they are superior to you and they're embarrassed of you. Like it's insane. It's insane. Uh, okay. Naomi Moon said, "What if he just is obsessed and thinks you belong to them? He always stalks my socials. Doesn't matter if we break up. Block him everywhere. That is not healthy. Obsession is not healthy. Block him everywhere. Distance yourself." Case and facts. No, I just be knowing. Yeah, okay. Kay said, "That's why I had to slowly but surely escape. I didn't announce my exit because they're incapable of ending things amicably. They treat you like they lost something but never respect your presence." Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so those were 10 signs, but I added one more. I think it was like two more. Okay, I said they are energy siphoners. If you guys have watched the energy siphoners video I have on my channel, you will know that these people are also energy siphoners. Them having control over you is how they're able to stabilize. When they have control over you, they're able to be nice to people, they're able to function socially, they're able to live a healthier, not healthier, but a somewhat normal life when they have control over you because they're siphoning your energy for themselves. When they don't have control over you, everything crashes down on them. They become crazy, they become unhinged, they become unstable, they start treating people terribly again. People will start rejecting them again. You are what kept them stable and somewhat functioning, right? That's why they're also so possessive over you, because if you leave, they go back to that being a loser again. They go back to being unstable again. They go back to being weird and crazy again in social settings again, and people won't like them again. But if they have control over you and all their abuse and mistreatment is going directly to one person to contain, now they're lighter, they're fresher, they feel better, they can treat people nicely, they can treat other people better, they can function normally because they're siphoning your energy and using you as a punching bag. But when you leave, all of that crashes down and go back to that person that they used to be before you, right? So they are energy siphoners, okay? They're using your energy to stabilize themselves. Okay. Also, like I said, the example that I gave, Offset is now addicted to gambling. He is gambling away all his life savings. He owes hella people money. Hella people seem to not like him anymore. He got pow-powed. It's just crazy. Like their life goes downhill. That's why they try so hard to keep you dependent on them and to maintain control, because they depend on you. They try to make you dependent because they depend on you so hard. They need you. Okay. Okay. Above Ruby says, and the crazy part is they fiend for your attention, energy, and vibe, all while feeling superior to you. The amount of times this happened to me, yeah, they're insane and delusional. Kay said, the controlling person always had to touch me, whether it be my arm or shoulder. Literally felt like my battery was running out or a heavy shadow when they came near. LOL. Yeah, when they touch you, that's they're trying to test your boundaries, and they're also trying to assert dominance. Like, this is my property. Okay, you need to shut that down. Captain Commenter said, this is true. My dad had no friends and none of his siblings ever came over to visit him because they're crazy. Nobody likes them. They're crazy. That's why they need to get you, isolate you, capture you, hold you hostage, and sell you a facade and try to make you dependent on them so you can't leave them, because nobody likes them in real life. They're losers. Okay? Exotic Dakota said, these people really do feel rejuvenated after completely disrespecting and insulting you. Yeah, they're siphoning your energy to better themselves. Okay? Okay, bye, Maria. Have a good night. Above Ruby says, it's because they use strong, powerful, and bright people to self-regulate. Yeah, you guys check out my energy siphoners video. I explain all of that in the energy siphoners video. But also, these people, because of their huge egos, because of their grandiose egos, they really do believe that you will not function when you leave. They feel like you will crash and burn when you leave them, and they try to make that happen. Like when you finally try to leave them, they will try to ruin everything and force you into like a place of vulnerability when you try to leave them, because they want to prove that you can't survive without them. They really believe that. But the thing is that in reality, the opposite is true. When you leave them, they will crash and burn because they need to siphon your energy. Your energy will be gone and they'll have to go back to what they were. They try so hard to get you to think this way about yourself, that you will crash and burn without them, because the opposite is true. They will crash and burn if you leave them, right? So you will notice that when you leave, they'll try to like act concerned, like, oh, I hope she's okay. They'll try to tell people, oh, what is she doing now? I hope she's okay. You know, life is tough. I hope she's hanging in there. Girl, I am thriving. I am thriving since I left you. Like, that's how egotistical they are. They think you will crash and burn without them, right? Nelly Swan said, and they're okay with people not liking them. They want attention regardless and use every tactic to get it. Yeah, they're sick, right? Lisa says she was talking about one girl saying I should call her job and rat her out about something she did. Don't do that. Don't do that. These people are sick. They are sick, guys. Okay, yeah, guys, that's the end of the video. That's all the notes that I had. We just discussed it. Thank you guys for being a great audience. It's been about 2 hours, two and some change. I'm gonna get off, but thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for making a great live and asking great questions and supporting me. You guys, like I said, we're trying to grow the channel. Okay, share the channel. If you love my channel, my content, support me, please share the channel, share it on other platforms, talk about it on other platforms. Buy the books, recommend the books. Buy the course, recommend the course. You guys, if you have the books, review it on Amazon. Thank you so much for supporting me and everything that I do. I really appreciate you guys for sticking around. Um, I'll see you guys in the next live, in the next video, okay? All right. Kay said, okay, let me see. Kay said, until I get my Bible manipulation book, I look at your videos whenever I feel uncertain about someone's character. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. Stay super blessed. Thank you so much. All right. Captain Commenter said, when I was a kid and didn't obey my controlling dad, he'll abuse me. You dig? I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry about that. Asina says, thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you guys so much. Okay. Have a good night. Happy Monday. Have a great night. Bye.